5 simple steps that will get you to 6 figures in sales year 1. Number 1, simplicity. At the core, your job as a sales professional is to connect the client to the product. That's it. As long as you talk to enough people who have a need and you have a product that fills that need, you'll be able to sell. Number 2, scripting. A lot of sales professionals hate scripts, and honestly, rightfully so, because a lot of scripts are unnecessarily wordy. A good sales script doesn't necessarily answer the question of what to say, but it answers the question of why you say it. It should be repeatable, super simple, and very easily digestible. These are the 3 whys your sales script should always answer. Why the client should buy from you, that's your authenticity. Why the client should buy this product, that's your exclusivity. And why the client should buy this today, that's your urgency. As long as your script answers those 3 basic questions, then you'll always be able to sell. If you can't really get through the conversation, then the client doesn't like you, so your charisma is lacking, there's no authenticity. If the client tells you, I want to shop around, then you didn't really build on the exclusivity because everybody wants to feel like they're getting the best end of the deal. And if the client tells you they want to think about it, then you didn't build on the urgency because everybody wants to procrastinate. Those are the 3 things you can never miss in your script. A good sales script is like 12-bar blues. If you ever go to one of those jazz shows, you'll listen to the band improv, but really they're just building on the same chord progression over and over and over again. So having a super simple, digestible, and repeatable foundation for a script is the key to success in sales. Number 3, subtlety. You can't just go to a client and say, hey, you should buy from me because I have the best product and you should buy the product today. Obviously. A few tricks that I have to build on each one of these areas. For authenticity, for example, pretend you're having a coffee with a friend and you want to mirror your friend's behavior. Obviously, if they're not having a great day or maybe they are laid back, you don't want to be super hyperactive. So as long as you're mimicking what the person is doing that you're talking to, you'll always be able to be on the same level as them. Second piece to subtlety and authenticity is to have go-to jokes. Like if you have a few jokes that you know for sure work, repeat those suckers over and over and over again, and they'll be the gift that keep on giving. For exclusivity, there's a bunch of subtle ways that you can build on it, but one of the ways that you can do it is through price anchoring. Basically explaining to the client that generally a program or a product like that costs X amount, which is a really high price point, but because of their membership or because of the offer, they're able to get the same exact product for X price point, which is a lot lower. That shows the contrast and increases the perceived value of the program, and you're showing the client subtly that they're actually getting the best end of the deal. For urgency, there's a bunch of ways that you can build that urgency from the get-go, but I like to pave the way from the very beginning. So before I even start the conversation, I'll say something like this. Hey, really quick, I have back-to-back meetings on the half hour today, so do you mind if I give you the short version of everything? But of course, no worries, we're gonna get everything handled for you today. What you're doing with that is you're subtly suggesting that you have a very packed schedule and that everything's going to be taken care of today without being super pushy. It also subtly signals that you're not one to do all the back and forth stuff. Number 4, socialization. Never do presentations and instead start having conversations. If you assume that mindset that you're talking with somebody versus at somebody, you'll always win. Hear me on this. If you're anxious going into your meetings with your clients, that means that you're living in the future and you're worried about the outcome of your interaction versus being present with your client, asking the right questions and building the value. You always have to be present and simply have conversations. Stop doing presentations. And number 5, systems. The number 1 way to emotionally remove yourself from the rejections and the no's, which are absolutely guaranteed in sales, is to have a good, reliable system. If you don't have a system, if you don't have an understanding of your data, then your business will run your life and you will not be able to run your business. The only way to run your business is to know how the machine operates. How many calls do you need to make to book X amount of appointments? How many appointments do you need to book to have X amount of meetings? How many meetings do you need to have in order to have this many sales? It is that simple. If you can boil it down to the basics of how much activity do you have to put in, then you can run the system over and over and over again and not be worried about the outcomes because you're just doing the same process and trusting the numbers. In our business, you just need 5 sales a week to make 6 figures year 1. It's not that much and it's not that hard. If you just understand how many appointments you have to set to get to those 5 sales, that's all you have to do every single week. Those are the 5 principles that will never steer you wrong in this business. If you can follow these 5 steps, you will inevitably make 6 figures in sales.